Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Frozen.
Welcome to CAD 116, Basic AutoCAD. Today's Zoom meeting. Al, could you talk a little bit about the release of Module 6 here?
Certainly. Mod 6 is arranging with patterns, objects. Basically, it's a drawing exercise using a hotel room bathroom and hotel room. It's relatively nice. We're looking to have basic windows, doors, cabinetry for the bathroom, a sink, toilet, and a bathtub to go in there, and also a closet, and also a lot of.
So it's a basic architectural detail drawing, and there's only one drawing due for this module. Is that right, Al? We'll say yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, gross for a month. Okay, good. A little bit further.
So it looks like my internet connection, I don't know if you can see that, but it has a tendency to go out. So I think it records everything in the Zoom meeting though. So we'll continue on.
Okay. It says the first thing in their books. That's the first one. Is the link is for the regular book. It will tell us everything about it, our objects, and also learning objectives into it. You click on it, please.
Right. Before we do, let's just take a look at how Al's got it organized. He's got the readings from the book in blue. And so this is the chapter. And so if I click on that, it goes to the digital book, chapter 12, tells you about the learning objectives. And then if we come back here to our D2L, here's the PowerPoint for this chapter. And again, we were using it quite a bit to kind of map to some of the assignments. And then if we come back here, here's the PowerPoint on dimensioning. And dimensioning is really the thing we want to start to master now, mechanical versus architectural dimensioning. Whereas architectural is in feet and inches, and dimensioning is typically in inches or in millimeters. And then there's a video here. And it shows how to do the drawing. It's a rather long video because we linked in some of the learning objectives or some of the chapter information on that. But we do have video to show you guys how to do things. Like you can see right now, what we're doing is moving this faucet block into the bathroom and demonstrating how to work with blocks. So I'm going to pause that, go back to the remaining of Lab 6 information can be located under content. And so one of the things Al and I talk about is how much content we can put into the main splash page. And we're trying to get it so that we put a little bit in there, and then the big part is in the Module 6 content right here. And so here's a bonus lab for those of you who like to work.
Yeah.
And there's some videos for how to do those labs as well. Here's the old OaktonCAD link. OaktonCAD was great. It was available before D2L. And this has a lot of good information on dimensioning and dimensioning styles. This is what Oakton used to look like when we had drafting boards in an architectural program. Al and I used to run this drafting competition, so we would include that. But just a lot of good information, unidirectional, aligned dimensioning, how to do things at scale for dimensions or how to calculate dimension scales. Because that's the real problem, is when you dimension something and it comes out microscopic on an architectural drawing, it's usually because you have not set your dim scale properly. And so this is really good. It talks about the difference between scaling to layout and calculating the dimension scale with this exercise. So some useful information there. And then back to Module 6. There's some additional labs in here. So there's a paper space model space lab. Here's our floor plan video tutorial. And then here's another PDF of the lab with dimensions. You're to use an architectural title block. You guys should know that by now. If not, we'll just tell you again. Here's our B-size arc. And here's some bonus drawings.
And all the way in the bottom, keep going. Keep going. There's some PowerPoints right there. Those are the same PowerPoints that I showed you up in front. The only difference between ones we have on a splash page and that ours is on top. It's a PDF, comes up real quick on any kind of software or any kind of computer you're using. And the bottom one is the regular tutorial. So if you click on it, link that, Joe, on the bottom there.
Yeah, just a second. So think about the content tab as a book. And Al and I will tell you what assignments to do from the book. And so that's sort of how this sort of lays out. You might go into the content, say, wow, there's a lot more stuff in here than I thought. Yes, just like a chapter in a textbook would have a lot of things that you don't necessarily have to do every single thing in there. And so that's kind of how we're linking these things together. On the main splash page is the assignments. And so when we look at the assignments, okay, here's the book readings, here's the PowerPoints, and here's the video tutorial. That's the, the stuff that you want to get done. And then when you get down to the remaining things or additional content, you can click here and that'll direct you to the D2L content section where there's even more stuff to work on.
More meat and potato stuff.
Exactly. So we're not going to make this a real long video, right, Al?
No, we just want to show them what's going on. If you go into your settings and set up to student instead of your name, please, for one moment so you can see how they would sit.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Top, please. Your name, click on your name all the way up on top. Where it says Joe Cerrone, click on it. Go student, please.
Right. And you can just tell me to go view as student. You don't have to walk me through, like take a step forward, take a step to the left.
I'm making sure they understand they can get there too.
Right.
So if you go back now into content real quick, and they can see exactly what A was seeing on their screen.
Right. Terrific. All right. So a lot of the same information, but some of the things will turn off and turn on. And Al and I have had a habit of turning things on and off at the same time. So sometimes we have to correct each other on it. But for this week, the assignment is to read through chapter 12, arranging and patterning objects, create this architectural drawing with the dimensions, with the kitchen, with the bathroom sink and toilet and bathtub. Now, do they have the blocks for these, Al?
I don't know. I have to look for it. If not, we'll give it to them real quick.
So I think we might want to put a link in there. I know that as long as we're doing the video, that if I go to OaktonCAD and we go to module 2, that I put all the design center content right there. And so if we look at this, this is where all the blocks are from OaktonCAD. And I think what we'll do is we'll put those links into the chapter. And so that one's not the right one. Let's see what the other one was. House designer.
Whole thing there. So
I don't know the difference between a space planner and a house designer, but one has bathroom fixtures and sinks. So this is where you'll get that content, and we'll export that at the end of this video and provide that content for you. Okay, so that's the assignment. Create the drawing in model space, dimension and detail it, and add the symbols. This one looks slightly different. Looks like they put a different sync in there, but that's acceptable. We're looking for overall progress.
Also, by the way, make sure you take quiz 6, please.
Right, so take the quizzes. I seem to be stumbling around in my D2L again. Too many tabs open. Here we go. All right, so in closing, today's Zoom meeting, we've talked about the assignment, what's due. Module 5 is due tonight at 11:30 p.m. And if we look at module 5, it should be in the splash page here. There it is. You have this bolt hole pattern. You're only to pick one. You can either choose the polar array, which is circular, or you can choose the linear array, or you can even do the site plan. And there's videos for that. So that's due tonight. Typically this assignment is due in 2 weeks. So October 29th availability, module 6. Well, that's incorrect. We'll have to fix that.
It's supposed to say starts, not ends.
Yeah.
It's a glitch again with the D2L.
No problem. Now we have a practice midterm. That's what I was kind of looking for. So next week, we'll release a practice midterm. And that midterm you can practice on as many times as you want. It's basically going to be questions from the quizzes and questions from the end of the chapters, and then a hands-on drawing. So we like to give students the ability to take that test. It'll use an honor lock system and in D2L. And so it'll be very much like taking the quizzes and exams, but those exams need to be proctored. So it will use this honor lock tool, which will allow us to have a virtual proctor. And we'll put the information into the main splash page.
For next week.
That's right. So be prepared in a couple of weeks to take an exam. The midterm exam will be assigned in 2 weeks. And so that'll be
The 9th or 7th.
week of the 9th, right? So Al likes to run them all week. So he'll run that from the 9th until the 8th.
No, 9th to the 15th.
Thanks. 9th to the 15th. Thanks, Al, for the clarification. All right, with that, we're going to end this Zoom meeting and opening things up for questions.